Well, hello, kids. Welcome to another episode of Glen Yaps. This being, I think, what are we? June? Is it June 21 today? Lost track. I have the time. I don't have the calendar. What's my computer say? I can't see because the camera's in the way. Doesn't say anyway. I just have time. Whatever. Anyways, 2025, June. So we are doing a anniversary version today. It's the anniversary of my first ever firing from a band, which was June 2024. The reason I'm doing this video is simple. Basically saying that it's not the end of the world if you get fired from a band. There are tons and tons of musicians out there, tons of bands. There's always something that will take the previous band's place. It's not the end of the world, basically. It's just, you might get frustrated at the moment it happens. Nobody likes to get fired, obviously. For me, it was the first. I've been playing since 1977, and that was the first time I ever got fired. So I'm going to give you a few details, and basically it's nothing that you can't get around and, refocus. So in my case, I was playing with a country band called Out No Country for roughly 2 years. I had other bands going at the same time. One called Soundcheck, another called Flat Stanley. So it was one of the bands in the... I've always worked with multiple bands. It's just fun that way. Keeps things interesting. This band had fired their drummer. The lead singer had contacted me. I've known all the guys in the band for years. I've not played with any of them except for the bass player at that time. Well, we played in a rock band years before. Anyways, so they were looking for a drummer. Singer said they were looking for a drummer. They fired the last drummer. They go through a lot of drummers. I know that. I know when I was learning some of the stuff, there was videos with different drummers. I was like, holy smokes. Anyway, so the conversation was, any drummers? I says, yeah, me. I says, I might be interested. So they were just looking to do Sunday matinee shows. There was no real mention of weekend gigs at that time. I said, perfect. I says, because my present band, Soundcheck, played almost every weekend. So it would be tricky to throw something in for a weekend with this country band. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. So worked it out, did a few shows, and then it was, like I say, it was not steady, but it was, a good flow for 2 years. We did special events. We have up here in my area this country awards thing for our province, upper province, and so they were one of the bands to do the after awards party. Some of the musicians from this particular band I was in played for these award winners. So they were part of the actual backup band for that show with other musicians from other cities. So I knew all that for years. So for me, though, I got to play this country award thing, which I never did before. And the cool thing is the sound crew that was doing it, the owner of that crew and the engineer that night was my friend and bass player of many bands, so that made it a lot of fun. It was like because he does road work a lot too and stuff, so I don't get to see him too often. So that was great to connect with him, and then it was all his drums supplied, so that was awesome. And then my wife, who's also a sound and light person, used to do sound and lights for a few of my rock bands back in the day, and one country band actually. So she got to do lights because we're all friends. So she got to do lights for the event, so that was fun. So I mean, I had a lot of good times with the band, this out and out country band, and we also did a Perry Sound gig. The bass player, his camp is in the Perry Sound area, so they always do this end of summer show for all the people on the lake if they wanted to come. And so we did it. That was a bit stressful for me. Doing road gigs is always stressful these days because it has to be organized really to the detail. I have to know exactly what's going on, where I'm staying, how am I getting there, blah, blah, blah. I have to know all the details. One of the main reasons is I have a wife that's got health issues. She's dealing with MS, and I can't just up and leave without knowing all the details, so I can give her the details in case something happens. And most musicians I've played with for years understand that. These guys, I had to enlighten them to that. So it was frustrating to get all the details to this. They're used to, I guess, just off the cuff. But for me, it's like, no, I'm a detail nut. I got to know the times. I got to know everything. Where I am. How do I get a contact? I got to know all the details. So that was a bit frustrating. I mean, the gig worked out. There were some added musicians to it, which I didn't expect. I won't say that was a great thing. It was more of a confusing thing. And we had a bit of sound issues. But other than that, it was a fun gig. People enjoyed it. And I got to camp in a tent and all that fun stuff on the lake, right at the waterfront. It was awesome. So anyways, so I did almost 2 years of gigs with these guys. And if my band was playing the same bar they were doing the matinee in on Sunday, I would hold our PA, my rock band's PA, over to do sound for them. So it was a giant favor to them that I could, all I had to do was show up. I had everything ready to go, and I would just mix them from behind the drums, and didn't cost them any labor. My rig was already there, and I just tore it down whenever, or left it for the following week or whatever. So it was a favor to them. So so anyways, to get to the firing, well, I knew, I got a phone call. The phone rings, and it's the singer on the phone who has never talked to me on the phone. They've always done it through chat. So right away, your antennas go up. It's like, oh, something's up. So, and you can almost predict that there's something not gonna go right, or something's happened and there's going to be some change. So sure enough, the singer fires me on the phone, and he's telling me that I didn't do anything wrong, and that the drummer he's always wanted was taking over, and that's basically it. So I've done nothing wrong, but they want this, or he said that he wanted this other guy. And I knew him also, and him and I have been friends for years. So it's like, at that point, this is a lesson to everybody. At that point, you can't do anything to change the situation, really. Their minds are already made up. In this case, this has obviously been planned, because they would have had to have known the other drummer was available before they asked me. Otherwise, they would leave themselves without a drummer. So basically, something happened ahead of time. Oops, got a hair on there. And you're kind of you're screwed at that point. So it's like, okay, now the big picture is I've known, or at the time, I had known these guys had all played together before because they all do these country contests, country award things, I should say, in various capacities. So they're all well known to each other. We all grew up in the ranks of our local music scene. So there was they had played together for a while. For me, one of the things that attracted me to joining this band was that I had never played with a fiddle player before, and I had never played with a steel guitar player before. So that really interests me. Also, getting back to playing with the bass player, because the guy's a great bass player. So there were 3 pluses there. As for the vocal part of it, the band singer is really good, and I've known him throughout the whole music scene also. But yeah, so I knew this had to have been worked out ahead of time. It's not rocket science. You're not firing your present drummer if you don't have a backup plan right away. So the one thing you always think of when you're at that point, it's like, okay, I'm getting fired now, or I have been fired. You're kind of like you're at that stage. Either you're totally in shock, or you're broadsided, or you don't care, or it doesn't matter. So for me, I knew I'd been with the band for almost 2 years, and I knew they were still playing the same songs for 2 years, and from my videos that I post on my page here that I cannot take that for very long. Like I want to learn new material, keep it fresh all the time, and I usually will not stick with a band if they're not going to look to the future and evolve. Playing the same songs for that period of time it's frustrating. It's like you're pigeonholed, and the sets very rarely change. So I was getting tired of it at the time, but you don't expect to get fired, and I wasn't ready to quit, but I was getting tired of playing the same songs. So anyways, it just came down to, in a way I was broadsided by it, considering, that I had learned the material. And when I learned the material, it's like I chart everything out. So everything's there, so I can use it for future gigs or whatever. And a lot of material I knew. What I didn't know was material for fiddle songs and those oddball songs there, because I've never been in a band with a fiddle player before. So, and what I found about fiddle songs is there's so many variables of the same song. So I had to really get the fiddle player to dial in which version he was doing. And what I did do is record the band live a lot, so I knew at least where they were going with their version. So it all worked out. But again, I did my homework. So there's always a situation like, if you're getting fired, are you getting fired because of your technique? Did you fail in your technique? Is it a personal issue? Do they not get along with you on a personal basis? So I personally, don't mean to use the same word, I didn't see the issue with either one. I know they were not used to me being a counting tempo freak. Like I like to play the songs roughly consistently the same, every gig. So I do have a click track to start songs off. I don't play click tracks, or I didn't with this band, play with a click track all the way through, but I like to use them for counting or whatever. So that might have aggravated them, but I never got any flack from it. I never heard anything back about it. And so it just came down to, I was out, the other guy was in. Have a nice day. So that was a year ago. It was probably, what's the 20th, 21st today? So that would have been a couple of weeks ago, a year and a week ago, something like that. So what basically happens after that? You basically sit down, reevaluate what you've done, and start searching for a new path. And never give up. So the divorce from this band was pretty, like, as much as it was a broadside hit, it didn't really rattle me as some might think. What bothered me, what I should say absolutely pissed me off, was I think it was like a month or so down the road after getting fired, the singer, again, never face to face, sent me a message to do a fill-in. I don't know about you, but that's where I draw the line. It's like, I'm not good enough to play with you on a regular basis, but now I'm okay to fill in for you. And to me, that was it. That was like, not going to happen. That was the piss off for me. And I advise everybody else to do the same thing. It's like, that's just not cool. You can't fire somebody and then expect them to jump after that. Just, and then go back to the way things were, doing favors for them. It's just not going to happen. And if I'm not mistaken, the gig was probably a freebie anyways, because I think it was one of those country contests or country award things, which they always did for free. So, yeah, so that was the pisser for me, the slap in the face. So, and that would have never happened. So, now, the band, we're still friends. The singer and I aren't. That's his choice. He chose to do the unFacebook thing and unfriend thing, and it's like, that's totally fine. And I have no problem with that. The other guys, we've talked. Well, they've been to the house. We've talked numerous times. And so there's no issues there. But they understood. It's like, I'm not filling in for you. They got it. So, it comes down to, well, you have a marriage here, and then you divorce, and then you're asking your wife to be part of your life again after you divorce her. So it's basically that. It's like, no. It wouldn't be fun. I don't see any gains in it whatsoever. So the big picture is, those are lessons learned. You can reevaluate your playing. You can reevaluate your personality, thinking that maybe that was the problem. But if the band doesn't tell you the issue, you're wasting your time. Just walk away from it, like I did, and just move on to other things. As a musician, you should be able to find other things, which I have. And this studio is therapy in itself, because you can write your own material, enjoy the process. You can continue to practice. You know, you're always going to practice. If you're in this music biz to be a musician, you're always going to practice. But there's always musicians out there. You just have to find the right ones. So for me, that's what I've done, and it's no big deal. And the only reason why I do this video like a year after that is to basically make that point very sternly. It's like, there are options out there. Don't give up. It's no big deal. Now, if you are the problem, and they do tell you, you take that with a grain of salt. You reevaluate what you did, whether it be, okay, maybe I didn't do my homework enough, so I should work harder at that. Or if it's a personality thing, you can work on that too. But I mean, at some point you have to understand your own personality, and it's something you have to at least have a discussion with the band, I would think, anyways. As far as I know, with a lot of bands, they usually will talk things out, or attempt to. But I've been in bands where there was no talk, and their communication was a big fat zero. So who knows with the country band? I'm never going to know, and you know what? At this point, you don't care anyway, so it's like a done deal. So you can fix your playing, you can fix your irks in the personality, but if the band says nothing, you're just move along. It's real easy to move along. So that was my case. I did talk to the drummer. You always come down to this, your replacement. You know, if you're a good friend, if you're a good friend and you want to continue being a good friend, would you be part of that funny, strange takeover? So you have to understand some truths, if the truth is even conveyed to you. So in my case, I don't know. I always thought, sure, I may be thinking about leaving the band, but that's nobody's business but my own and the guys in the band. So it comes down to if and when. In this case, you know, the two parties did know what was going to happen, so you kind of go, where's the truth lie? So I got a little bit bent for that, feeling for that. So, and I'm still on the fence with it, and which is fine. It's like, you can't change that either. You can reevaluate friendships that way, and believe me, in band situations you can do that a lot, because you're like being married to 4 people in a band. So with me, I've always been blunt, straightforward, express my feelings right away, and you know, some people don't like that, but you know, I'm going with my mom on that, and she's the one that told me just be straight up front, get rid of the baggage, and if you could fix things, fine. If not, move along. But definitely, her word of advice was never walk away from something that communication could fix. So, and if communication doesn't bring out the truths, then you walk away. So that's basically what I live by. So if you can't get people to be truthful to you, then you don't need them in your life. Basically, it's just going to bring out more bad as things move along. So in my case, I just moved along, enjoying my time, and I think for me now, I've had my fill of country music. Although I've played it since the '90s heydays, on and off. And country music is not my main music. I do like a lot of it. I love country chicken picker guitar players. I love them. Like Keith Urban. I love Keith Urban's playing. There's so many great pickers out there. Mason, I think, is another one. They're just all great. I love those players. So I'm not a fan of all the lyrics, but I've played a lot of country music. So it's not like I'm not experienced in some parts of country music, because I've drummed a lot of it. But at this point, it's brought me a little bit of grief. And even the folding of my rock band that did country, we folded the band in January after many years together. We were going into more country, and it's like, okay, I'm at the point now. I've had my fill of it, and I'm glad the band is now throwing in the towel, because I just want to do other things. So always explore other things. You don't have to be stuck in a rut. There's so much out there to explore and try out. So never give up. So right now I'm just enjoying writing music of my own, because I like playing guitar and bass and drums. And I've been jamming with a number of people since the other country bands axed me. So I've jammed with a bunch of people there after that. And since my other band finished on New Year's, lots of jamming there. So I've got lots on the go. I'm totally happy where I am. Having a little break from live playing has been also great. I don't have to move the band gear. It's always stored here. It's always set up by me, and I have my trailer and stuff. It's like, no, it's nice to have a little break. So don't let being fired get you down. It's not the end of the world. Just consider it a badge of honor, because look if you're a drummer, just look on the internet lately with the Foo Fighters firing their drummer. That guy was phenomenal. Like, what were they thinking? But obviously, might be something on a personal basis, or they had some vision of another drummer. But that drummer was amazing. So I don't know why they fired him, and I think a few other bands got fired. I remember Badlands firing Eric Singer. Eric Singer, man, he's had a great career playing for Kiss and other bands. Their replacement drummer was great, if not better. But yeah, so famous people do get fired. Billy Sheehan, bass player, he got fired and then rehired. Mr. Big, I think, fired him and then rehired him. So that worked out, I don't know if I could do that to go back, but who knows? You just never know. If you want something bad enough and that band had that magic that you missed, even though you got fired, then okay. I don't know if I could do that, but I can say no right now, and then, when the carrot is wagging ahead in front of you here, it's like, oh, okay, I'll go. But I doubt it. Yeah, I'm pretty stubborn. So that's the video, kids. Don't let it get you down. Keep moving forward like I have. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like the politics, and you can definitely speak your mind. And anybody who, thinks you can't speak your mind, well, that's too bad. Everybody can voice their own journey, and that's what I'm doing here to help others. And the naysayers can just take a walk. They don't have to listen. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.